Hello and welcome to BloombergQuint. You're joining us on this IPO Adda, where I, Vishwanath Nair, will be talking to Mr. Rishi Gupta, the MD and CEO of Fino Payments Bank. Fino Payments Bank is going to announce it has already announced its IPO. Well, it's going to start on the 29th of October and it's going to last till the 2nd of November. The bank has set a price band of 560 to 577 per share for its IPO and is expecting to raise about 1,200 crore at the upper band of this IPO. Mr. Gupta, welcome to IPO Adda. Let me just quickly understand from you the price band that you've set. You're confident that you're going to hit this 1,200 crore mark as you have planned?
Thank you, Vishwanath, and thank you, BloombergQuint, for having me on this interview today. Yeah, Vishwanath, we are very confident of getting this subscription done, and we look forward to investors and public joining us during this journey of Fino. It's been a very interesting journey thus far, and it's going to get more interesting in the future.
So the market was expecting about 1,300 crore. I know the number is not way off, but the final number is about 1,200 crore. Was the market wrong, or did you have to reassess the system?
Not really reassess. It was more from leaving something more for investors in the future. That was the purpose. The guidance went through it.
Okay, sir. Let me come down to the bank and what all it's doing now. As part of the DRHP, you had said that this money that you're going to raise is going to add to your tier 1 capital, and that is going to help you grow some of the businesses that you're already doing and probably enter new segments. I'm just trying to understand, sir, 56% you have your capital adequacy. How much more capital do you need in this, sir?
So the capital is more from, while it's going to go into tier 1 capital, but as you know, we are not into credit business per se. Mm-hmm. So our capital adequacy is always going to be higher than the normal 15-20%, which is there in you look at an asset-based bank. Our focus is more into building up a digital bank for the Bharat, which is there. And our focus is to build more on digital, more building on transaction technology platforms, and to spend more on the marketing and branding activities of the company in the future. And that is where the maximum utilization of capital is going to be there. More on building a better infrastructure on technology and digital piece.
Okay. Coming to these business segments that you had mentioned, now already you even before you became a payments bank, you were already quite strong on the payments and remittances side of the story. After becoming the payments bank, you've also been able to accept deposits. The RBI has recently raised that limit to 2 lakh per customer. I'm just trying to understand what the existing business reality is looking like, and where all do you think you have avenues to go?
So see, we are 4th year into our bank, 4+ years. There is a lot of rope and there is a lot of runway which is there. We are building up the infrastructure of the highway, and we are bringing more customers and products onto that highway. Just to give you some numbers, Q1 of this year vis-a-vis Q1 of last year, there's a growth of nearly 36% on our top line. Our transaction volume has grown by more than 50% on a year-on-year basis, if I look at. And that was despite the fact that we were not that much impacted during the COVID-1 also, because we saw a change in the consumer behavior. That was a big change for us, Vishwanath, and that is what is driving us more into the business, which we call alternate banking channel, or the ABC of banking. The distribution platform which we have built up over the last 4 years, with nearly 7.77 lakh touch points across the country, being one of the largest financial services provider in the country, we are able to bring consumers to our platform within a few kilometers of their home or office. Our purpose is to become the largest neighborhood ecosystem for financial services. And that is the reason during COVID also we saw when others were not able to function because of the distance or other challenges, our merchant network was open for longer hours and people were able to access financial services. I think that itself is a big milestone. And to top it up, we have been bringing up products on it. So just to give you an example, our CASA numbers or current account savings account number has grown by 50% in the last quarter vis-a-vis the quarter of 21. Our transaction volume on CASA, which is our own customer, has grown by 4 times in the last 1 year of our journey. And on sequentially basis, we have seen a 26% growth in our own transaction platform, in our own transaction customers. So we are seeing that more and more people are joining this neighborhood banking concept. and the access to financial services is now being made available to a larger section of the population. We are kind of, if I would say, democratized the entire banking and made it available for people closer to their home at their convenience, virtually 24/7. I think that is a big change, a big revolution which has come up in the way the larger emerging India can get banking and financial services.
Understood. So considering that your addressable market is so large, right? I mean, even though you are present in about 94% of India's districts, but I'm sure there's still room for you to grow. I'm just trying to understand what other business areas you'd like to explore as you get this capital from the IPOs.
Yes, so couple of things which is there, which I call X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
X is expansion of more and more network as such. So from 6.4 lakhs as of March 21, we are at 7.7 lakhs as of August 2021. So that's again a jump of nearly 20% more merchants in the last 5 months. Then we are going to go deeper into with the merchant on products. So initially we started, as you rightly said, with remittances. Yeah. We added micro ATM, we added Aadhaar-enabled payment systems, then we added CASA, which is current account, savings account. Recently, we have started to add offer credit on with partnership with other banks and NBFCs. So our endeavor would be to look at, when we look at financial services, we are quite active on the liability side. We are quite active on the payment side. We are getting more active on the credit as well as on the investment side. So that is the roadmap. And third is obviously our journey with the customer on digital side to make it possible that if we can do it yourself kind of a model. That is where we see the expansion and the growth coming for us in the future.
Okay. Credit and investment, if you could just take us through what you're already doing and what can be more, what more can be done in this place.
Can you come up again? I could not hear your question.
On the credit and investment side, I just want to get a sense of what you're already doing and what more can be done.
So on credit side, we have been largely focusing on gold loan referral program for a bank and an NBFC. So that has been going on for nearly a couple of years. Recently, we also started doing merchant loans. So merchants on our platform can get kind of a working capital loan. Again, we have tied up with an NBFC to provide that kind of a feature. We are in a piloting stage of offering consumer credit to the customer through our platform. So that is on the credit side. On the investment side, we are waiting approvals on our mutual fund rollout, as well as in gold loan, not gold loan, but gold buy and sell of gold onto the digital platform.
Understood. With respect to the holding company, Fino Paytech, I'm just trying to understand. So, is the long-term plan or the medium-term plan looking at a reverse merger? Because for a lot of financial sector entities, that is the way forward. The holding company and the discount that comes with it.
You are absolutely right. That is something which we will. Our 5-year period of minimum holding ends in June 2022. Post that, we are going to look at how we can collapse the holding company into the bank. Reverse merger, which is something which the regulator has recently approved in some other entities.
Fair enough. So that would mean that the investors who are all your large marquee investors who are part of Fino Paytech would then become part of the bank. Yes. And that's where they get their shareholding. Okay, fair enough. So, with respect to the future of this payments bank model itself, now you are probably one with profitability to show. Vast majority of the payments bank system has not really been very profitable. They've not really been able to do as much as what you have done. I'm just trying to understand, does payments bank in the long run make sense to run as a business, or is this just a stepping stone to get into maybe a small finance bank or a private bank license?
So in our view, actually, there is a lot of headway. There is a lot of room which is there for growth in our own ecosystem. On profit, we have actually grown by more than 69% year-on-year basis in Q1 vis-a-vis last year quarter. So there is room which is within the payments ecosystem, which is still there. We are only 7.7 lakh merchants in the country. So there is enough room to expand. As I said, there is room for more products to offer. We are already offering credit through our partnership ecosystem, which is there. So I personally believe that the payment ecosystem, if you get the right model, so we have kind of cracked the code of addressing the large markets in the country. If you get the right model, which is like in our case is an asset-light, scalable model which you have built up. So this kind of model can make it sustainable over a longer period of time. And then you can build up a partnership ecosystem. You would recall we coined this word called DTP, which is distribution technology and partnership. That is something which we believe is the strength of a payments bank. So we are able to offer large distribution to the ecosystem, high on technology with all the right tools being there, and very good partnership ecosystem we have built. Within, I would say, we had 85 CMS partners as of March 21. We are now 97 CMS partners end of quarter 1 of so 12 new partners, average 4 partners we are adding on a monthly basis. So from my point of view, the way I look at, there is enough scope for payments bank to itself grow, and also do partnerships and bring those products which can be made available through the ecosystem. Small finance bank is an optionality which is available to us. I think at a right time we will decide whether we want to go for that option or not. But as of now, our mind, our heart, and everything is on payments bank, and the focus is on that.
Yeah. One thing about payments that a lot of people say is that it's mostly renovation of the storefront and not really of the back end of the mechanics of how payments work is pretty much still the same how it was over the last 5 years. It's just that the front end has changed so much that people then go to somewhere which makes sense to them, which works for them. In terms of your journey over the last 4 years as a payments bank, what all has changed on the back end side?
So there's a lot of changes has happened. Actually, the front end is just an interface which a customer deals with. It could be very intuitive, very simple. It could add multiple products onto that platform. But I think the complexity lies at the back end. You are absolutely right, and that is where there's a lot of core banking platforms which are there, some of the banks may have legacy systems. Fortunately, we are only 4-5 years old as a bank, so we don't have that problem of legacy systems. So when we were putting up the bank, we spent a lot of time in designing our technology infrastructure. We made sure that our complexities continue to be on the back end, whereas on the front end, we have completely changed the entire interface. We have a big team of technology employees in the company, and the entire interface which is there between the middleware and the front end is completely developed within Fino. And the complexity is there at the back end, which we have been able to change with the time. So right now, if I look at our volume of business has gone up by more than 10 times from the time when we started the bank. And no system would have been able to handle it till the time you address the entire technology stack from back end to front end to middleware. So and then I would say we are fortunate that we have come in an era where the India stack itself has grown disproportionately over the last few years, especially the Aadhaar ecosystem, which enables the eKYC, as well as the NPCI rails, whether on UPI, IMPS, or EPS. Those are some of the big advantages which we are benefiting from.
All right. Lastly, sir, in terms of opportunities and challenges for you, what lies ahead? The next 5 years, what is that going to look like? Because by then, this bank is going to probably look very different in the next 5 years.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. I see. When COVID actually hit us, and that was the biggest challenge for everybody. So there was two ways one would look at. Look at challenges and seeing what to do now. And the other way is looking at opportunities and to see what is the positive way we can look at business. So we coined this word called creating opportunities in virus infected days. So that is what COVID actually meant to us. So creating the same thing, taking this forward, we believe there's a lot of opportunities within the segment. A large population of India in the emerging India segments need good quality services and banking and financial services through technology as well as through digital means. I think over the next 5 years, we will see a further bigger expansion on the merchant network. More products which will be suited for these customers will be there. And eventually, we will see a larger portion of people moving on to digital platforms over the next 5 to 10 years. And that is where our endeavor and our focus of company is right now.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for joining us on this conversation. We wish you all the best for this IPO. And thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, Vishwanath.